The U.S. airline is a plane, commercial plane coming towards us. It's going to hit my building. It's going to hit my building. All of a sudden, it made a left-hand turn and a right, and it hit. All of a sudden, the whole downtown area just shook. It just literally, like there was an earthquake at 1.2, and you can literally see the whole thing just explode. It was horrible. The U.S. airline is a plane, commercial plane coming towards us. It's going to hit my building. It's going to hit my building. All of a sudden, it made a left-hand turn and a right, and it hit. All of a sudden, the whole downtown area just shook. It just literally, like there was an earthquake at 1.2, and you can literally see the whole thing just explode. It was horrible.
We should be able to hear what this man is saying now.
Anything else that you saw? Were you there for the second hit by the plane?
About 10 minutes later, the second building went off.
Did you see it?
Yes, I saw it. It just blew up. A big explosion. People started running. It was just chaos everywhere. People jumping out. People just kept jumping and jumping and jumping. And you could still see they were alive because they were flailing around.
The FBI has already stepped in to investigate. It could be possibly a terrorist strike.
Right, it could be. It could be because it was the first one went off, and then 10 minutes later, this just blew up out of nowhere.
Hard to think that that would just be accidental.
No, I don't think it would be accidental.
Back it up, folks. Back it up. Back it up. Take point.
Kenny?
Johanneman.
Spell your name.
Johanneman.
And you were working there?
Yes, I was right there. I was down in the basement. Came down. All of a sudden, the elevator blew up. Smoke. I dragged the guy out. His skin was hanging off, and I dragged him out, and I helped him out to the ambulance.
Thank you.
All right.
A lot of work left to be done, and as you can imagine, the streets are a bit chaotic at this point. But
Custody for about 10 minutes or so. Did they ask you any questions, or what happened for you to be standing here with me now?
They looked in my backpack. They frisked me a couple times. I don't have my ID, so I couldn't, or my ticket or anything, but I just told them, I guess they saw that I didn't have any weapons or didn't have any evidence of doing any of this stuff.
Nick
so
alone?
I guess they just screamed right into the side of the Twin Tower, exploding through the other side. And then I witnessed both towers collapse, one first and then the second, mostly due to structural failure because the fire was just too intense. Obviously,
there were a lot of people inside the buildings at the time.
From the 7th precinct, 1st precinct.
I understand we have something from Jackie Hyland, who's right now down at City Hall Park. Jackie?
Marvin, I'm being joined right now by a New York City firefighter, Morrell Gibbs. He's been battling this fire, this destruction since 11 o'clock this morning. I believe you were in Tower 1 and 2. Can you share some of your experiences with us?
It's awful in there. It's devastating. And Tower 1, we went in to try to rescue people, but it collapsed again. It made us run back out, and we was in fear for our other fires. Right now, we got numbers of police officers unaccounted for. We got firemen, they're unaccounted for, and we're still trying to rescue, but because of the fear of the collapse and, the flames engulfed, it's so hot to get in there and save people, and right now we're doing the best we can.
Can you just give us a brief description of what it looks like down there?
It looks like Vietnam. I wouldn't kid you, I wouldn't lie. If they would say Vietnam, that's what it looks like. It looks that devastating. It looks like a movie set. There's something that's unbelievable.
Now, are they taking some of the victims out?
Right now, we have took out 2, but we can't even reach the other ones. Right now, it's so devastating there, we can't even reach nobody.
It must be frustrating for you as a firefighter because this is what you do. You go to try to help people.
No, we want to help, we want to rescue, but right now we feel, our hands are tied, but we're doing the best we can.
It must be very difficult on you having to wear this gear all day long. Since 11 o'clock this morning you've been in there. You must be exhausted.
We're a little tired, but that's what we train for.
Have you reached out to your family? I'm sure they must be worried about you.
No, my mom knows I'm all right. I think my family knows I'm okay.
Now, there has been word circulating out here on the street that there are many firefighters and police officers unaccounted for, as you just mentioned. Can you give us a brief insight into that?
Right now, I think about probably 2 stations are unaccounted for. There's no numbers, no one's saying nothing. A lot of firefighters are shook up, hurt over it. I mean, we want to get in there and try to rescue these guys, but we got to kill the flames. We got to slow the heat down.
So the flames are still going at this hour?
Yes, and debris. We're still scared for the buildings collapsing. Building 1 collapsed again, even though it collapsed twice, and we got 1 building down there. It's no more building. It's just burned up.
And there's probably a lot of smoke still down there, right?
It is. A lot of debris.
It must be very hard to breathe for you.
Yes, it is. It's our eyes are taking the worst beating right now.
Right. Where are you heading right now? Are you heading for a break?
Yes, I am. Headed for a break to the car, and then after that, I'm going back in.
What do you hope to do when you go back in right now?
I hope to go back in and save somebody.
Do you think there are still people in there that are alive at this hour?
I think so.
Well, you are doing a phenomenal job, as is all of New York City, both firefighters, police officers, and we want to thank New York City firefighter Morel Gibbs for joining us. And we're going to send it right back to you now, Marvin.
Thank you. Describing it as a scene like Vietnam, and there could possibly be some people buried beneath that rubble in pockets there. Let's hope and pray that they can be found. But just imagine how much debris, all that rubble, all that
Well, he was saying so far all he wants to do is save somebody, but he hasn't run across any bodies yet, just debris, and the fire is still burning. He looked completely exhausted. But the way he's just matter-of-factly said, I'm just going to rest for a few minutes and then I'm going to go back in, and this is my job. It's just incredible.
You breathe heavily when you hear those things.
Vietnam, war zone, surreal, nuclear disaster, like a nuclear disaster. These are the things we've been hearing over and over and over again.
And again,
today.
that site is just absolutely, it looks like something from a movie where a digital effect has obliterated those twin towers of the World Trade Center.
Something from a movie where a digital effect has obliterated those twin towers of the World Trade Center.
Come on, talk to us. Yeah. What happened, brother? Yeah, first of all, we were just in the building, and we was looking out the window because we saw the paper going around, and we was looking out. All of a sudden, we seen a plane come from this direction.
You on the same floor?
Yeah, 21st. I told you. I told you. We're right through this building right over here.
2 blocks away.
All right.
The second plane came from that side, right into the side.
Come on, let's go.
People trampling each other. It
was terrible.
What floor were you on? Were you inside or outside?
No, we were on this building next door on the 21st floor.
What'd you hear?
We came down and saw the explosion. We were downstairs when it exploded.
Did you see a plane?
Yes, coming from the left side of the building.
Any markings on it that you might recall?
No, it was so quick. Just out of nowhere. Boom.
And then
Big.
what?
And then everybody started running, trampling each other. Like crazy. I mean, pocketbooks, tools, everything I had was out of my pockets. I went back and got it afterwards.
So you felt the explosion?
Yeah.
Did you feel the first one or hear the first one?
No. We just looked out the window. We were in the building and we said, "What, the Yankees win the World Series again?" It was like a ticket tape parade. We were joking around, and then we looked out the window and realized that the building was on fire. We didn't hear it whatsoever. Then we came down to check it out.
I saw it all.
Were you in the building?
I was in the 50th floor of the Millennium Hilton, and I was getting ready to call my wife. I heard the whine of a jet. An American Airlines jet hit the tower. I know about planes. It was either a 737 or a 757. I don't know if they fly the Airbus, but the engine configuration looked like it was a 737. It had the nose down. It was hauling ass. I looked up and I thought, what is this plane doing coming so fast? And it just slammed right into the first tower. Blam.
What about the second explosion?
I think it was just from the heat of the fire. That's my guess. And when that happened, then they told us to get the hell out of the hotel.
Tell me your name.
My name's Doug Eisler.
Spell your last name.
E-I-S-L-E-R from Philadelphia.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
Absolutely not. I've seen at least 10 people fall to their death. And just splat like a ripe tomato. It's awful, but I don't know who was at the controls or what was going on in the plane, but it was not a bomb. It was an American Airlines jet that crashed into the tower.
Thank you.
Sure.
At 10:30, I tried to leave the building, but as soon as I got outside, I heard a second explosion and another rumble and more smoke and more dust. I ran inside the buildings, the chandelier shook, and again, black smoke filled the air. Within another 5 minutes, we were covered again with more silt and more dust. And then a fire marshal came in and said we had to leave because if there was a third explosion, this building might not last.
Like, it sounded like gunfire. You know, bang, 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 and then all of a sudden, 3 big explosions.
To me, it sounded like an explosion. Then the building, the rolling sound sounded like the building collapsed.
You exited the subway station due to a lack of smoke. Eileen.
It was very smoky, and then we exited on Church Street out of the Path train station. I crossed over to Church.
They were having coffee in the World Trade Center when the first plane struck.
And all of a sudden it sounded like, I don't know where the subway is, but it sounded like a subway collision, a bomb, and it was just pounding, boom, 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 and I boom, 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 and I boom, 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 and I literally thought the subway had exploded and all the cars were supposed to land on top of us. It was so loud.
In Tower 1, the North Tower of the World Trade Center, Matt.
And actually, when we came out on the stairs, there was a lot of devastation in the lobby.
I was entering the building on the lobby level. I was in the revolving doors when the plane hit the building.
David Dre worked in number 1 World Trade Center.
One of the elevators, I think, came crashing to the lobby level, and all this debris came flying out of it. And a fireball emerged from the elevator lobby and was coming toward me.
It just went ba-boom, this went ba-boom, this went ba-boom, this went ba-boom, this went ba-boom. It was like a bomb went off. And it was like holy hell coming down them stairs. And then when we finally got to the bottom, they were coming out on the mezzanine level there, and another explosion came right from it, just everyone flying right in front of me. Everything just went whoop.
Bottom elevator, the glass, just flames exploded out the front of the World Trade Center. Glass flew everywhere. Big boom. Come down the steps, everything fine till we got to the basement, and then everything just fell in. I got trapped in there with another guy, crawled out, kept getting hit in the head, had bags rolled around. Finally, we clawed our way out over the rubble.
Yeah.
Come on down.
We did all right. All right, way to be, Tom. Let's go.